Hey there and welcome back to another Miraculous Ladybug video. And once again, we're here with the trailer for Miraculous Season 6. Yes, I know that everybody would prefer that this is simply another episode of Season 6. But we have that annoying wait until autumn for more of the episodes unless Gloob can save our souls, and reveal that they have a batch of episodes they're getting ready to release. Until then though, we just have to wait and take whatever we can get when they offer us these crumbs. So yes, it's a trailer again, and I'll be honest, there was a lot of stuff in here that we've already seen before, which was a bit disappointing. But it is what it is. Regardless, there is some new stuff too, which gives us a chance to baselessly speculate on things, so I figured now's as good a time as any to take a look. Let's dive in, shall we? Okay, so the trailer starts off with a quick look at Marinette coming into a room with what seems to be a bagged lunch, and also Adrian's face appears there too. There's legitimately nothing to grab from these two sequences, but hey, I guess they gotta ease us into the trailer. We then move on to what seems to be City Hall, at least looks like it. Adrian's walking down the stairs and he looks pretty downtrodden, whilst Marinette comes charging down from behind him trying to catch up. My first thought would be that something's happened in regards to his guardianship situation. Maybe Gabe had some sort of will and they were reading it here for some reason. Maybe they were here trying to have Natalie officially instated as his permanent guardian, and the city didn't go for that because they're in favour with him being with family. He does seem rather upset because the distance between him and Marinette in that earlier scene would suggest that he stormed off first and she came down after him. I briefly toyed with the idea that maybe he was angry at Marinette, but I couldn't really figure a way that would work in this specific context. Especially since in a shot later on, we see Natalie in the same location. She seems actually rather angry, and the way her eyes start to shift, it's almost like she's giving somebody some angry side-eye. Maybe Marinette? I think it was El Toro Di Piedra that started to hint that there was going to be some discontent in the relationship between these two. What is it about becoming Adrian's guardian that turns you into Marinette's instant nemesis? Maybe it does have something to do with Adrian's dad after all. I mean, the bridging shot between the two shots of the stairs is Marinette and Alia on the beach, which I think is a shot from Revelator. And that's the episode in which Alia got very angry at Marinette for keeping secrets from Adrian about the truth of his father's actions. Maybe that's meant to be a little clue, or maybe it's a red herring and I need to lay off the tinfoil. Regardless, this trailer does massively hint there's going to be some drama in the future between Marinette and Natalie specifically, and it's likely all to do with Adrian. After all, following the scene of Natalie giving some bombastic side-eye, there's another shot of Marinette talking to somebody and looking a little disheartened. She's looking up and then suddenly looks down, presumably after she had told something she didn't want to hear. I don't think this is in City Hall, as I doubt there's a garden inside, but I guess it could be at the school, or more likely at Adrian's place in one of the garden sections. I mean, Marinette is for sure talking to Natalie in this scene after all. Take a look at the shoulder of the jacket in that shot of Marinette, and then take a look at Natalie's shoulder. I'm pretty sure it's the same colour, and the height difference that exists between the adults and the teenagers in the show works here too. This is likely going to be another argument where perhaps Marinette suggests that Adrian deserves to know what's going on, whilst Natalie's not in favour. Either way, something's going down, and it's likely going to build across the season until it explodes. I wonder if they find out that Natalie's involved in all that business with the Illuminati in this season, or if they have a long-term Cold War until sometime in Season 7. Next up, there's a scene of Marinette waking up screaming from a nightmare. Have we seen this shot before in one of the episodes? I can't actually recall. If so, just disregard what I'm about to say. If not though, for one, this does seem like a shot that would be played for laughs, considering it has her with her hair all messed up and poor Tiki goes flying, so she probably had some sort of goofy dream where she embarrasses herself publicly or something like that. Although, I suppose even in serious moments, the show has always retained an element of goofiness, so it could be something more dramatic. Maybe it has something to do with the Gabe ordeal and the aftermath of all of that. That's something I have enjoyed this season, that the effects of the previous season are still being felt, and in the way the characters like Marinette behave. I think it makes for a better story, and for better character arcs overall, rather than characters brushing things off and resetting to the status quo the moment the episodes end. We then fill out the trailer a bit with shots of some of the best episodes of the season so far. El Toro Di Piedra with the Bull Army, Marinette and Adrian being cute and Ivan being sad. We see a shot of Ruler where Lila's trying to tempt Nathaniel's mum into joining her and being akumatized. Then it's over to Climatiqueen where we get that really awesome and dynamic action shot of Cat Noir running through the train in midair and destroying it with a cataclysm before jumping out. Remember when people were shit-talking the new animation style a bunch and saying how it wasn't as good as the original? Nah, this is what you need. If you're gonna make superhero content, your action needs to be top tier. And this is top tier. It wouldn't have looked nearly as good as the old style. You know it, and I know it. Those voices were so loud before the season started, but now I feel like they're almost nowhere to be found. Curious about that. We keep going with some Climatiqueen clips and then two more from El Toro Di Piedra. I guess whoever edited this trailer really thought that was a great episode. I mean, they wouldn't really be wrong about that either, would they? It's probably my favourite of the season. It's either that or Ruler. One of the two. Kind of hard to pick. We then see a shot of what seems to be Adrian and Marinette hugging at night on that bridge that Marinette dumped Luca on. I don't think there's going to be any relationship breakup here or anything of the sort. In fact, I suspect that this is actually meant to be a romance scene. I mean, it's at night on a bridge, the moon's out, they're very close together. Maybe this is the ending of a date? I mean, this for sure looks like the type of shot that would finish off an episode right before the credits. It's nice and cinematic. Maybe they had a fight earlier on and are making up, but I think my first assumption is the right one. It's a romantic scene. That being said, I do wonder when they're actually going to have their first proper couples fight. Will they have it this season? They're going to hold off on that as long as they can to make it extra spicy and explosive? At this point, I kind of think it would need to be Adrian that blows up, because even when Marinette was extra suspicious of Adrian and Sublime, she was still super kind and sweet to him. So it would feel out of character for her to suddenly snap. So yeah, it has to be him getting mad about something, which also doesn't really feel like something that could happen. So in that way, it does have me very curious. How are they going to pull that off? For now though, we'll just assume this bridge scene is going to be framed in a positive light. From here we come to that group shot of the Miraculous. I tell you what, I do hope we get a full squad suit up scene at some point where they all turn up to a big battle to help Ladybug and Cat Noir. Something akin to the ending of Season 5 where there's lots of goons for them to fight whilst Ladybug and Cat Noir go after the bigger threat. Right now, whilst they all clearly work with Marinette, they don't really feel like a team. That's something I hope they're able to build up over time, feeling like an actual squad. We have a shot of Adrian's grandma, we go back to Climatiqueen and then Ruler, and what do you know, it's Altara Di Piedra again! My god, I know I should be grateful for what we've gotten in this trailer so far, but I do find it very funny that well over half the trailer is just episodes we've already seen, and then of that portion of episodes we've already seen, the majority of the clips are coming from a single episode. Moving on, we get another shot of the scene in City Hall, this time seeming like it's set after Adrian's walked down the stairs and Marinette's followed after him. He's clearly gotten some sort of bad news or has been told something that's hurt his feelings. Hell, maybe as part of this thing where Natalie's trying to work with the Illuminati and is probably planning on betraying them in the end, she decides that Adrian would be safer with a different legal guardian, and so this is her transferring custody. It would be a pretty heartbreaking moment, especially since we have that whole episode with Werepapas where it's made clear that Adrian considers her a mum. Thus, if he perceives her to have rejected him, well, it would be a good reason to be downtrodden, to walk off alone, and then have Marinette rush down to comfort him whilst Natalie appears later on. It could be something else, I suppose, like finding out something to do with his dad, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. We see that Theo gets akumatized at some point this season, which caught me a little bit off guard. Maybe somebody called him out for being a creep, lusting over youngsters whilst he's 18. And before anybody tells me that, oh, you wouldn't be able to tell her age, quantum masking, let's remember, Alia was very easily able to figure out that she had to be about 14 way back in Season 2. She just put her voice through an AI. Thus, I think it would be very, very obvious to everybody, especially adults, that she is not an adult, not even close. Creepy. Also, wasn't this the same dude that was cracking onto that alternate weather girl? Can't remember her name. In Pixelated, isn't he like cuddling her? A 14-year-old after they get pixelated? Yucky! Somebody investigate this man. Anyway, what episode do we reckon he gets akumatized in? Maybe Reckless Driver? After all, haven't we seen that his job is to drive one of those rickshaws around? Maybe somebody runs him off the road and he gets akumatized because of that? It's a pretty basic idea, but it's not like he's a massively popular character with this really deep storyline you can draw on, so it could be anything. That being said, I do like that they're using some of these more deep-cut, old-school villains, like this guy in Vincent. It's fun, nostalgic, and it prevents them trotting out Mr. Pigeon for the billionth time. That being said though, I do hope they have Mr. Pigeon return for old time's sake, just once in the future. In the very final season, maybe. Not anytime soon, though. Finally, we get to see our boy Luca, and it took me a while to figure out where he was in this sequence. At first, part of me thought that he'd simply be in Brazil, because that's where he's been as of at least Altara Di Piedra. I don't think he appears in any of the preceding episodes, although Sleeping Siren hasn't yet been released, so if there's going to be an episode that involves him going to Brazil, it'll be there. Pretty sure this clip takes place in Paris. I don't know, is this the beach island with the white and blue changing rooms? Sure looks like it to me. So either it's before he leaves, or at some point going forward he's going to make a return to Paris. When he was doing his video call, it did make it seem like him being gone was a more permanent thing, but you never really know. The story could go in any direction. Anyway, Luca's reaching out as if he's trying to tell somebody to stop. So maybe somebody's getting akumatized, doing something they shouldn't. We then see Ladybug using the Snake Miraculous, but it's not really a color scheme you'd associate with that combo. People were thinking akumatization, although it could just be that she chooses a cool new suit for her combo because, you know, she's a fashion designer and the red and black with the snake colors probably wouldn't look all that good. But yes, there's a lot of chatter about what's going on here. A lot of people are saying that this is her as Lady Chaos and she's going to be akumatized in this episode. This is one of those persistent rumors that always appears, every single season. People are going to choose an episode and they'll decide that 100% this is going to be the time that she gets akumatized. Don't get me wrong, I would like that as well. It's probably the biggest untapped storyline the show has left. and would by design mean the episode would have to be completely different to what we normally know, given that Ladybug would be out of the picture. However, I just think that people need to settle down and wait and see. Because as I've said, we've seen this song announced before. Every season there's this push that, Marinette's going to get akumatized for sure, and this means that Adrian's going to step up and Cat Noir's going to get highlighted and get the respect he deserves from the writers. He'll get his moment and it's going to be awesome. They're going to rename the show to Miraculous, Tales of Cat Noir. Trust me, bro. This mentality just sets you up for disappointment. So, I think I'll wait and see. I've also seen some discussion that this is going to be Marinette using the snake to test whether Adrian could handle the truth, but I really hope it's not that. I honestly think that this would be a massive cop-out as they'd walk it back using the Miraculous, because it's probably way too early for that kind of plot point. They're going to let that one linger in the air and build up some more narrative tension before they unleash a whole heap of drama all at once. I think the stuff with Natalie, that's going to be the main source of drama in the Adrian-Marinette orbit for now. Gabe stuff can probably wait until season 7, when we have a better idea of where everything's going to go. We then see Juleka playing guitar, and I do have to wonder if she's getting a focused episode at all this season, or if her side plot in Ivan's episode is all we're going to get. I kind of think we need more. The stuff with Rose is cute, but I always felt like they could dive deeper into her family life, and I know they had a bonding episode in season 5, or was it 4? But her and her dad could use some more spotlight. He often feels way more connected to Luca. Hell, a siblings episode would be good too. They don't really share the screen all that much, and it would be nice to see that change. We then finish with Cat Noir and Ladybug hugging, and it kind of gave the impression to me that she's comforting him based on the body language. I wonder if that's going to tie into the stuff we saw earlier with Sad Adrian, or is this going to be something else entirely? Either way, Marinette seems to be pulling double duty as her boyfriend's emotional support, both knowingly and unknowingly. I'll admit that coming into this trailer, I was not expecting it to be this interesting. This actually got me hyped though. But now we have to wait for months and months until the next episode's release. Anyway though, that's the end of the trailer, and these have all been my opinions, and so now I'd like to hear yours. What did you think of the trailer? What about my thoughts? Anything you particularly agree with? Maybe things you disagree with or think I missed? I'm curious for your thoughts, so make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know.